Hello guys, welcome back to One Source Studio. This is part 4 on object-oriented programming in JavaScript. Today we're going to look about interface and why they're useful. Okay, an interface is just a structure. It's just an object. So it's a object structure to pass data. So some data we're going to pass object to object that's structures to pass data. For example, the window window objects in the on the HTML page has a pointer to this variable. This variable has an interface to the window object to pass some data. That's why the console always returns some data or the methods what we call window, because there's an interface between the window and this keyword. Because this keyword is pointing to the window. Okay, an example of this. If you're working in the backend, you may notice that we don't have any window, you don't have any DOM, we don't have anything to manipulate the DOM, because we don't have the DOM. But here we're gonna work on something else. So don't worry about the DOM for now. Okay, let's get started. To define an interface, we can use regular object literal and to pass some data. But first, let's just provide a required field. So we know that the interface, when we implement an interface, the class or constructor uses that interface. Okay, so var, and it's convention to start an interface with an I, either I lowercase or higher case or uppercase, because it's practical. It's the normal convention. Human. Okay, this is just me declaring an interface method. Oh, sorry. And just fix this. I human equals. So we need a function to specify that it's required. So we're gonna create a function called required and throw an error if that method is not being implemented, because an implement enforces the rules that is meant to enforce a certain rule that so we return errors to show whether something is not interface not implemented. So we got an iHuman interface, which is just a regular object, and the object is going to hold the value of a function. So if we type in first name required, so anytime we call first name, it won't be required. But I'm just going to type in the code. We can date of birth, I'm going to stick with DOB. Current year. So this interface has very simple properties, but the function is being notice the function is not being called here. It's being held in memory by this value, these values, and it's all required. In the final project, we're gonna change this required field to return a type of human and throw an error if it's not with an extension. But that's if I find the time. But because I'm dedicated to my channel, you guys know. Okay, so to create an instance of this human interface, that we create an instance, we create a constructor called var I capitals human constructor. Wait, I'll get a good idea. Humanoid constructor I humanoid interface equals a function, and then we want this interface to implement this constructor to implement this interface. So another way of doing it, so we're gonna create iHuman constructor, the prototype dot equals watch carefully, because anything was set to this variable, all the other objects were implemented. All the other instances of that object were implemented. So we have to choose the object keyword. Object.create human interface. And what this is saying is that for every prototype, we create an object called human. We create an human interface. So this interface is now implementing it. We can give this some other properties. So we weren't working with scopes. We're working in the global scope for now, but we're working in the global scope for now just to be a test. But in the real world, you probably define your own scope, unless you want to return to the whole global scope. Okay. So now, if I was to create a humanoid constructor interface, if I was to create an interface for the constructor. So if I was to create a human, okay, let me just rename this. Module exports equals humanoid constructor. So an humanoid constructor, prototype the constructor is equal to. So what the human prototype of the constructor is pointed to is practically is equivalent to the proto method. Is equal to this. Is it this? I think it's 2 underscores followed by equals to this, but we're not gonna do this yet. We're not gonna worry about this. We're just gonna use the literal syntax to make it easier for us to understand. Because when working with a prototype object, we're gonna make something to check. We're gonna make something later on using the prototypes, but not this tutorial. I'll find something. So okay, module export equals human constructor. So now this constructor keyword is binding this humanoid to this human constructor. So when we create an object, we're always referring back to this instance of the humanoid constructor. So it takes us back to the prototype, which should then implement the interface. So what I want to show you is if you want to actually implement the interface, we can do. We can make a new class, new for implementation.js. Okay. Okay, so remember, module export is just taking this constructor, and so we're exporting this constructor. And now to implement this constructor, it's best to have some code, because I'm not doing code. I'm not writing some comments. So, when I practice in one tutorials, if I'm writing to evaluate if I'm writing comments, I'm writing comments after the function is declared when I'm teaching, when I'm making a project. I'll write it before. It's just my convention, just a confusion I made. It's also a good practice to pick up. So if you do that, that's great. If you don't, well, you're gonna struggle. So let's write this comment. Okay. Required. Okay. Write this here. I humanoid throws an error if the interface, or if the constructor extends the interface, or implements the interface, but does not use the methods of that interface. Okay, let me just check this out. Okay. Human constructor binds to the prototype of the interface. So the prototype it actually binds to the prototype of the interface. That's my way of understanding it. It's just the interface is being implemented, is being used here to create more prototypes for this object, for this blueprint, and this human constructor okay, give me a second. And so it just how it binds to the prototype of the interface. Okay, we're done. There's something called composition in JavaScript, and it's just different between is a relationship and has a relationship, and composition has a relationship to an object. So this is composition right in action here, because composition has a wait. Okay, this is a relationship to this object here, because it's pointing to it. It has a relationship to it, and inheritance allows you to pass down properties from that object. This is a composition, and when you if this was if this new keyword is here, then it's inheritance. A new keyword, then you're inheriting from that prototype, from another constructor's prototype through its prototype. Okay. So we're gonna be working now on implementation. So I'm gonna say implementation of the iHuman constructor interface. And how we do that is we will have a class. Maybe we have a humanoid. We have a humanoid. So implement this. Okay, first of all, let's try a different concept. Let's try interfaces. Okay. Interfaces. We'll just move this into this directory. And in this tutorial, I'll use this old file just to save time. Oh, I'll make a class, an alien class. Humanoid class, humanoid, alien. So this alien is being namespaced. It's being namespaced, but we'll make an alien class. Just to show you what composition in JavaScript can do, because we'll learn about composition and rotation. I'm trying to find the basic to organize the file. Okay, then we'll okay. We'll close that. Rotation and then right interface, and then this alien is. We're gonna take this alien and implement it, so we're gonna have that here. So this class is extending. This class is calling this alien, but this alien now can implement an interface to pass some data and throw some errors if the implementation is not, interface is not passed. Instead of the prototype keyword, instead of the prototype attribute bound to the humanoid, bound to a new humanoid, you do a new keyword, like in last tutorial, an alien would have an alien. Okay, an alien will have the option to an alien will have the option to this alien can be a new face, but it's just a function. This alien will have the object to the property to pass the interface constructor, through this interface. So every time this alien is called, alien prototype method is cool and not implemented, then interface will throw an error. So if we try an alien, if we log new alien, what am I doing? Okay, alien dot first name. Okay. Okay. I need to tune this up again a bit. It's all functions. We're not going to be using the function. We're going to implement from the string instead, because if you use a function, we're going to throw an error. We're going to throw the error when we want to do error handling, but we're gonna have the current year required for the moment. But so if we type a new alien dot and we don't have this first name, last name, and properties, first name, Cyclops, CD, okay, we can, because this is a new string, we're being returned with a string. But if we type in alien, because this now extends the interface of the interface constructor. If we type in dot current year and we don't have a current year method here that's bound to the prototype object, if we don't have a current alien prototype method, then it will should return the error undefined. That's new. Okay. The current year, human constructor. It shouldn't return undefined. Should return in it should throw an error not implemented. Humanoid interface. Humanoid constructor. Okay. Oh, it's undefined because this current year is getting bound to here into there. So if we take away this, should get an implementation error. Undefined. Oh, that's new. I haven't seen it before. Required implement. This prototype is implementing this object. Its object constructor response to this constructor itself. That's fine. That's fine. In our prototype was object constructor. Okay, we'll take this out for a second. Take this out for a second and is it new human constructor? I'm not sure. Yep. we have to bind it. We have to bind it with the human constructor because this is a constructor. We need to be called. It needs to be an instance. So every time we initiate a constructor, we can only initiate with the new keyword in front of it. So now, anytime I call current year, with the new keyword, okay, that's new as well. Undefined. So we get undefined because we haven't assigned this to a function. This is a string, and the function is being passed. This is being passed, but it's not a function. So we need to we can override it through the prototype method. If we pass this as a currently a new number, and then specify all the parameters just to make things life a bit easier for us. New numbers, many, and year of date of birth 29 29 BC 2019. Specify okay, it gets the current year because it's inheriting from this because it's pointing to this. This is being pointed. This is just pointing to this object, but we're getting the current year from here, and that's why we use implement an interface so we can pass some data. If current year was called and there is no current year, let's say we want to compute an age. Get age. We can use the interface. We can implement the function directly into the interface. Return this dot date of birth. So whenever we call this, we don't have to implement this here. We have a whole interface doing that for us. So now we call anytime we can call current year on we can get the age of we can get the details from the interface. Get age. Okay. Wait, get age is 2019? No, making no sense. How old can he be? 2019. Okay. Function. Okay, we're gonna. Oh, wait, what? Okay, let's change this. I don't want to see 2019, 1919, just something simple. 2019 still what? Minus date of birth. So when we take the first name, last name, date of birth, current year. Let's change this. I think it's this. Yep, it was that. It was this having this here, because this is an object constructor. So if we pass this incorrectly, if we do that again, yep, that doesn't work. So it was this here. So it's 29. He's 29. Okay, thank you for watching. Next tutorial we're gonna get started on the final project, and support me if you can. And again, thank you. Stay fresh, and your challenges are to create an interface for those animals you created, so you can pass the data, allow you to pass the data to the interface and implement that interface. Okay, thank you, bye.